born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the third era and the final hours of my life.
Hi everybody, it's 314 Reactor, and today we're looking at the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion from 2006. Now my audio may sound a bit different today because I'm on a headset on my laptop because I'm in the middle of moving. So the audio quality won't be quite as good as it usually is, and we'll be on 1080p, but that's enough for Oblivion. So let's go for it. Let's create a character. Now, that opening is so incredible to this day. There we go. Let's get the right hair. There we go. Close enough. So there's the basic setting. And what you can do is, of course, dive into the deeper settings here by going into the shape, the brow, the cheeks, the eyes, all this stuff. Really, really cool. But you can create some really ridiculous characters with it. Because at the time, they hadn't quite perfected this system yet. Don't think it was the first game to do this, but it was definitely one of the earlier sort of games that allowed this level of insane modification of characters. I think The Sims 3 had something similar. And by the time Fallout 4 came out and Skyrim came out, I think they'd perfected it to not go so extreme. You can really go pretty crazy with some of the settings here and create some really horrible characters. But we've all done that. Every video's done that. So we're just going to stick to making a normal sort of looking person here. And what blew my mind, even in the E3 videos for this and the early sort of trailers, was the level of physics and the interaction with it. You can press the Z key here and you can move objects around, which is really cool. Just a lot of interactivity. And the other thing I noticed was the lovely normal mapping here. Or I think that's even parallax mapping, isn't it? Like 2006 era parallax mapping. Very nice. And the shininess of all the... Oh, there we go. And there is the kind of glitchy NPCs there. Good stuff. Oh, I love it. I love the sort of low-res normal maps as well. Kind of pixely. Look at the shadow coming in there. Shadowing's actually really cool. Let's have a look at the graphical options while we're here. Because I've cranked everything up to the max. So we're running at 1080, texture size large, tree fade. That's knocked itself down a bit. Everything else should be... Oh, no, it's not. I thought I cranked this all up. Let's make sure everything's on the absolute highest. We are running with a Ryzen 5000 series and a RTX 3060 mobile on this laptop. And so far it's run fairly flawlessly, even with all these settings cranked up. But we'll see how we go. It says anti-aliasing is off, because you can't have HDR lighting and anti-aliasing on due to an old limitation with the game engine back in the day. There was something, the way mock sampling worked, you couldn't sample a floating point and then assign it to a MSAA target on that older hardware, older gen hardware, whereas when the 8000 series came out, you do that. Look at that though, look at the shadows coming in, it looks great. And I think they're just all shadow maps and stuff, so it was pretty heavy back in the day.
See your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars rumors were right. And this is the day. Assassins attacked my sons, and I am next.
So here, of course, we have Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard himself, voicing Emperor Uriel Septim here.
You are a citizen of Tamriel, and you too shall serve her in your own way.
As funky as some of the characters look, I got a real sense there that that blade was very suspicious of me. So it's flawed, but it's still great. And it's only flawed, I think, due to its age. Because back in the day, when this first came out, when I first played this on a Athlon 3000 plus with like 512 megs of RAM, or maybe a gigabyte RAM, and a 7900 GT, it was absolutely incredible. Look at that shadowing though, it looks amazing. Oh, slight frame drops. And then wait for this. Just conveniently breaks. This is all alien stuff, so the ancient elves built this, I believe, if I remember lore correctly. So this wall has just happily sat here for thousands of years, and then it just so happens to collapse as we go by. Bit of the basic combat here. The earliest points of this game still look beautiful. Look at the light shafts coming down here. I think that's just like a sprite or something, but it still looks incredible. And then when you first use the healing spell, the light that comes up, oh, the way it affects all the bump mapping and everything. I just remember seeing this for the first time and all the detail, all the specular, everything. I think I got my 7900 GT and then literally the next day got Oblivion through the door, and it was so incredible. It was just mind-boggling. This is the era of maximum physics, so all sorts of traps, the logs rolling downhill in Crisis, and some logs rolling downhill here as well, just as I mentioned that. Fantastic. They love doing this in games in the mid-2000s. Oblivion, Far Cry 2, actually, and Crisis all did it. I'm sure other games did it as well, from that physics obsession that kicked off from, I'm guessing, Half-Life 2. Looks like I've still got some muscle memory for the lockpicking, which takes a little while to get used to. Bit of the old combat here, which still feels alright, you know? I remember playing Dying Light 2 a few years ago, and the combat was much more evolved in that, obviously, much more visceral, fast, but the core of it didn't feel too dissimilar from this, you know? So for being nearly 20 years old, it's not too bad. Whereas when you play Morrowind, you really, really feel that aging combat. You gotta look at the skulls, man. Look at that. Love the skulls in this game. Gonna grab one. There we are, back with the guys here. Drop down. Look at the specular on the floor here. And again, HDR lighting there. Again, relatively new in the mid-2000s.
They cannot understand why I trust you. Which sign marked your birth?
Of course, this is where you can start selecting the character development. So let's just go with the warrior, very generic for this run.
The signs I read show the end of my path. My death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
Look at all the shadowing around his face from his hair and that. It's not perfect because it's like some old school shadow mapping and some really old school sort of filtering here on that shadowing. But it still looks pretty good.
You shall follow me yet for a while. Then we must part.
Some really cool shader effects there.
See any good options here. They're behind us. Wait here, sire.
Wait here with the Emperor. Guard him with your life.
Watch your back,
the
boys.
Emperor!
You thought we'd go down easy?
I can go no further. You alone must stand against the Prince of Destruction and his mortal servants. He must not have the Amulet of Kings. Take the amulet, give it to Joffrey. He alone knows where to find my last son. Find him and close shut the jaws of Oblivion.
As we get frozen in place, you can't do anything. Until you unfreeze. Whoa! And there we go. Sandals. The guy that took out the Emperor has sandals.
We failed. I failed. Where's the Amulet of Kings? It wasn't on the Emperor's body. Strange. He saw something in you. Trusted you. It's a secret way out of the Imperial City. Here, you'll need this key for the last door into the sewers.
And here we select the class. Let's just go with Warrior again. Nothing too crazy.
Really? I would never have guessed.
Alrighty, now we head to the sewers, and the sewers aren't that interesting, so we will skip to the outside area that we all remember. First time seeing this, man. 2006. It's just the openness of it. It's like the game is just immediately telling you you can go anywhere and do anything you want. And it's so sunny when you start off. And I remember that summer was actually very sunny as well. So it was sunny in the game and sunny outside. There's something about these low-res normal maps. It just looks fantastic. It just gives it the Oblivion look. Here we go. Straight into some combat. Finding things like this, like books, you can just sit there and read. I mean, come on, it's so good. You can go for a nap here. Garlic clusters to protect from vampires. Hold the middle mouse button, you can look around. Yeah, I really need to find some trousers. I really do. Look at the sky as well. Oh. This will be a mud crab. Yep. I can't take him out. He's too adorable. Look at the water effects there. Oh. Now this is pure vanilla Oblivion. Just the Game of the Year edition or the Ultimate edition or whatever it is on Steam. So it's Oblivion with all the DLC and patches and stuff, but no mods. I have been playing, I believe it's called the Painted World mod pack lately, which is really good. It really enhances the whole game. I may do a video on that at some point. So we've got a bit of the combat there. But then you have moments like this where you just come across a random deer just chilling out. And it's so peaceful. And that's the great thing about this game. You can play it however you want. You can play it heavily combat focused, with any sort of combat you like, or very peaceful focused and just ignore the main quest. Because this is just one of the most relaxing games ever. All this grass and trees. Now I've got the grass and tree distance up to max, so it takes a while before the trees turn into imposters. So I think you've got the 3D trees to about there, and then I think they start to turn to like 2D imposters. And the grass distance is fairly long. You can go into the INI file of the game and increase those even further, as well as make the reflections here, which I believe are planars, more high res. We'll leave it at the defaults now. But even back in the day, if you were to crank those too high on top hardware, it'd really lag up. Look at the shininess on these rocks. Oh man, I remember the first time walking in here. Again, just absolutely in awe of what my 1700 GT was doing. And what I really loved, the bit that really gets me, really tickles my brain. Oh.
Hi there. Have you eaten at the feed bag recently? I try not to eat there, at least since the last time. Take care.
Did she just make a pig noise? Anyway, we'll talk about that AI in a bit. Look at this. These lovely stone effects, the light bouncing off, the HDR lighting really working. Again, probably one of the earliest games I ever saw HDR on actual hardware that I owned. It enabled this sort of look to the game where you got these sort of dark areas, the bright sun, although it's getting a bit overcast now, but the bright sun coming down, having really strong reflections here, but without overblowing the whole scene. Really nice highlights with bloom accentuating it. And dark bits here, it's just so phenomenal. And there's even Shadow Number here. Is that Shadow Number? Was that even in Oblivion? It looks like the shadow's fading off. I think it is. Wow, that's so good. Oh, it's so good a reference to the original game.
They say that King Halson has made an alliance with House Dress. Together they pick apart the carcass of ruined Indoril.
Who will help an old beggar? It seems that these are turbulent times in the land of the Dunmer.
So yeah, you just have all these characters walking around doing their own thing. And it was an AI called Radiant AI, and it basically just allows the characters to wander around and do their own thing. And they also have cycles, so they go back to their homes and sleep at night, and they eat and drink. I think they actually had to downgrade it. I'm sure a lot of this is common knowledge, but I'm still going to talk about it anyway. I remember seeing original videos back in the day, a long time ago, like 2005, where there was a Radiant AI demo of like a woman character getting angry with her dog and like throwing a fireball at it or something. And that sort of level, that depth of Radiant AI doesn't happen in the final game. I think they had to downgrade it because the AI was like too alive almost, and it was doing some really crazy things, and I think it was causing quests and stuff to break.
Welcome to a fighting chance.
So yeah, here we go into the mercantile side of the game. You can buy stuff, sell stuff, obviously. You can do a bit of haggling.
You don't expect me to make that deal, do you?
Yeah, there you go. So you have to get better at your personality skills and get the person to like you more, and then you can haggle with them better and get better prices. Let's go into one of the most memeable, ridiculous things of this game that I still love, and that's the communication system. So you can talk about rumors and specific items in the menu here, where they can give you quests, and you can talk about certain things. So you get rumors.
Fintius has the best bookstore in the city.
Get training from them and stuff, and you can get them to repair your weapons and armor and stuff. And you can go into this mode. So it says in the tutorial here, in each attempt to persuade, you must admire, boast, joke, and coerce. Each of these actions raises or lowers the NPC's disposition. You have this hilarious wheel here. You can either bribe them, give them 10 gold, and you get a little 16 bonus. But this person is 42 out of 100 in terms of how much they like me. So we click start. So this wheel shows how much strength each action will have, and then the NPC's face shows how much of an effect it will have. So if I was to click admire here, with a strong effect, that would lower that number quite a lot. So we don't want to do that. We want to go the slightly less unliked one here with the lower thing on it,
Wasting your breath.
which reduces it not as much. They really like a joke, and now that power sort of has gone to the joke that they like,
I like that.
which gives a huge boost to the disposition there. And then we've got a low point on the one they hate here,
Not now, not later, not ever.
and then they kind of like boasting a little bit,
Well done.
which gives them a boost. So it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure you all know how it works. But it's just hilarious the way you have to play this little game. It just makes no sense the first time you play it. But then when you get used to it, it kind of becomes second nature. Eventually you get to a nice high disposition you can't do anymore. Now the better your personality gets and the more they like you, I can sell a whole bunch of gear off. Going to keep the skull for good luck. What we need is some trousers. I think there's a posh clothing store up here.
You've come to divine elegance because you care about what you wear.
Alright, let's see what they got. Blue suede shoes, green silk garment, light brown linens. Let's go for the green silk. There we go. Don't look quite so ridiculous now. So that's the mercantile explained terribly. What we're going to do now is do a bit of the first quest. Going to go see Joffrey. Now, of course, you can walk all the way to wherever it is we've got to go. Coral, that's it, to Weynon Priory. Or you can fast travel. I tend not to use fast travel too much in this game because I like the sense of adventure. Oh, look at that little butterfly flying around. Look at the little details there. Oh, it's so good. And the music by Jeremy Soule. Look at the reflections there, and the reflections don't disappear off screen when you look down, because it's quite low res, but as I say, I believe it's a planar, which also means it's not very physically correct. As you can see, that bridge is just not reflecting at all. Will it ever reflect? Will we get closer and it will reflect? No. In that case, I wonder if it is a planar. Maybe it's just a big old environment map. Because, yeah, it's just not reflecting certain things. I could have sworn it had real-time reflections. Oh, maybe I'm just misremembering. God, look how good this looks. And here we go from the daytime to the nighttime, where the sky starts to turn a bit pinkish. It starts to look really good, and the bird sounds and the music. The time when I was first playing this, in 2006, the nights were actually looking like this. A lot of nostalgia during this video. Whenever I think of 2006, I think of that sort of weather, those sort of times, those nights and days during that summer. And it sounds weird, but I swear you don't get weather like that anymore. There was a distinct sort of weather and a distinct sort of sunlight and nighttime that you got in 2006. You just don't get now. Oh! And because the leveling system levels up the enemies alongside you, everyone starts off with really bad armor and you get attacked by wolves and mud crabs and stuff. And then as you level up, these guys' armor gets better. You end up facing bears instead of wolves, and then it goes up and gets worse and worse. And all their armor starts to get up to glass and then Daedric and stuff like that. And it's really weird because it feels very unnatural and strange. They fixed it in Skyrim, and there was a mod that came out in the day that I still believe is used now in certain packs called Escuro's Oblivion Overhaul, and that made the leveling much more natural and much better. Because essentially they designed the game so that you could always play it no matter what level you're at, so that you didn't get overwhelmed by some really high level stuff, but it just made the world feel way too static. At first you wouldn't notice, but after the first few levels you'd be like, oh, everyone's got better armor. It would make you wonder why he's bothering to mug you. Let's, oh yeah, let's do a bit of flashbolt from Scroll. Oh, look at the damage on that. And he's down. Glad I picked up that scroll earlier. Got a chameleon there so we can go visible 25% for 30 seconds. So just before we go into Weynon Priory, which always wants to make me say Weynon Priory. Look at that. And the way the stars move, and the moons move in the sky. The music. And the way the blue moonlight bounces off of the alien structures. These just look so beautiful. Look at that. Of course, there's a fame system built in, fame and infamy system. Can't describe how nostalgic and beautiful this is. I know Oblivion's become a bit of a meme now, although I think it's gone from being incredibly new and amazing to becoming outdated to going to a meme status, and I think it's come back round again, being actually pretty amazing. So I'm seeing all sorts of people that didn't play it at the time playing it for the first time and saying it's pretty awesome. It's gone from new to old to meme to awesome. There's a mushroom around here somewhere, like a red mushroom, and I want to find it. Because I remember playing this game on my friend's PC before I got my PC in 2006. So I just couldn't play this game yet. I had to wait a couple of months. And I remember playing it on my friend's Alienware that he'd got, which was, I think, an Athlon 3400 with a 7800 GT. And it was that old classic 2006 Alienware, and I just remember running around doing random things and going into random houses, and here we go, this is it. This is the exact mushroom, and I remember ducking down and just sat there and looking at the mushroom. My friend was like, oh yeah, you've got to go into Weynon Priory and do the first quest. And I was like, nah man, I just want to look at the graphics. And I was like staring at this mushroom for ages, and he couldn't understand why I was looking at it. And I was like, man, look at it. I was like, look at the specular mapping and the normal mapping, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so good. And he didn't get it. That was great stuff. Let's go see Joffrey. You got these indoor areas here, which again, the bloom makes it look really soft and amazing, combined with the HDR and the amazing textures, the parallax mapping, normal mapping, all that stuff. The whole thing just made it look so futuristic, and until you see a shadow map going right through the floor there.
I'm Brother Joffrey. What do you want? Emperor Uriel? Do you know something about his death? You brought me the Amulet of Kings? As unlikely as your story sounds, I believe you. His name is Martin. He serves Akatosh in the chapel in the city of Kvatch.
Now this is the classic Elder Scrolls, normal person becomes the hero sort of thing, which is fine, but I always wanted to just explore the world as a normal person and make your own path without specifically being a special destined person. So there's mods like Alternate Start, which is built into the Painted World mod pack, and that lets you just start as a random person on a ship and build your own path, so you don't actually have to start the main quest, and you don't get the Amulet of Kings or anything like that. And there's even mods that allow you to drop quest items, because there's quest characters like this with the little crown, and they can't die, they can only be knocked out. And there's quest items like the Amulet of Kings, which we don't have anymore, but when you have quest items, you can't drop them. But there's mods that allow you to kill critical characters and actually break the whole quest, which I think is really cool. That's what you can do in Morrowind, and drop quest items. So I remember when I got the drop quest items mod and just dropped the Amulet of Kings in a river, let it sink to the bottom, and then just went on my way and never touched the main quest. Right, let's get some sleep in. Here we go. Oh, look at this. A beautiful morning in Tamriel. Feels like a traditional RPG fantasy adventure with all the green and hills around. I think some people didn't like that back in the day. I think some people preferred Morrowind's more unique art style and Skyrim's more unique art style. But I loved this. I really loved this, and I missed it in Skyrim. Just the green and sun. The bloom and the HDR, the over bloom, gives it that dreamlike quality. Oh, here we go.
Come on, run while the
Look at the bloom on this guy's face. Just that old school tone mapping. It's brilliant.
There were glowing portals outside the walls, gates to Oblivion itself. Run when you can!
How could the Nine let this happen? Are they angry with us?
Look at him go. Where does he go? I never followed him before. He's just running back. He ran into a wall. He's running back again. I just gotta see where this guy goes. Oh. Look at that though. Look at the shadows on the grass there. That's really good. And this is kind of a good point for the video because it shows the sort of random adventures you could get into, even outside of the main quest, and even outside of actual written quests. You can just kind of do these dynamic things. And I think that's kind of what modern gaming hasn't evolved enough, because we had a huge advancement in these sort of games back then. But recently it's kind of the same thing. Pre-written quests, not very dynamic stuff. Whereas with AI and ChatGPT, you could have generated characters, conversations, and also a generative AI overlooking the overall story of the game. So you could have a dynamically generated game where you make your own options and choose your own things, and it's unique for everybody. You could have that now. For some reason, we don't seem to have that. It's just kind of stalled at the sort of Skyrim level. There you go, he's going in it. Oh, that guy went on quite a jog. There we go, he's made it to the floating bowl.
It's you.
Where did he go? Is this him? Yeah, it's him.
Never going back to Kvatch.
That was this guy's journey.
Hello.
There you go. He's going to eat some corn on the cob. Here we are back at Kvatch, heading up to the Oblivion Gate. And you can see the sky changing here.
Stand back, civilian. You want to help? You're kidding, right? See what you can do on your own.
Look at the shader effects. Back with the 1700 GT that had the Priory microarchitecture. It had a base clock of 450 megahertz. It had 24 pixel shaders, 8 vertex shaders, and 256 megabytes of memory. Let's go in. Oh god, charred body. Oh, that's pretty grim. Oh yeah, the scamps are really heavy duty. So the game's supposed to be leveled up alongside you, but for some reason the scamps are able to take a lot of damage.
Thank the Nine. I never thought I'd see another friendly face.
So the previous morning we'd woke up in a jail, no idea of our future, and now here we are in hell. Basic goal is to go into these Oblivion gates, get up to the top of this tower up here, get a sigil stone, and shut the gate down. There's loads of them in the game. I think there's dynamic ones and also quest-related ones. But when I first played through the game, I pretty much ignored the main quest completely. So I didn't really see many Oblivion gates for a long time because I was just doing my own thing in the world. Oh boy. We're going to need a potion of healing. Actually, what other potions we got here? Fire shield. That's probably pretty handy. Let's take that. Let's get a shock spell loaded up. God, these scamps are exhausting to fight. There we go, up the Giga-ish sort of designs here. Oh! Oh, yeah. There's also so much magic in this game. All sorts of crazy spells you can use and make different spells, enchant your weapons in various ways. Let's use a bit of chameleon to go invisible. I love that. Oh, I love that. Get the blood fountain to heal up. See, it's only 25% chameleon, so they can still sort of see me up close. See, look, these guys go down easier than the scamps. What is all that about? Oh boy. Oh. Okay, he's gone. Oh, hello. Some nice enchanted clothing. Fortify mercantile speechcraft and personality with that. Got a level up on the go. You can see that little symbol down there. You can go to sleep, level up, and boost your points up in the kind of confusing Oblivion level up system. Just get a Daedra Heart. Let's eat the Daedra Heart. God, this is rough. It's almost as if fighting through hell is difficult. Oh no. Oh boy. Get another Daedra Heart down. There we go. It's time to grab the sigil stone after a bit more looting. And There we go. And I've got some awesome rain effects, thunder and lightning. The weird thing with this game is the rain moves with you, so it never feels like you're walking through the rain, which is rather odd. Still an incredible atmosphere, and we have shut the gate outside of Kvatch. Oh, I love this game. So yeah, that was a brief look at Oblivion there. Really nostalgic for me. It's good to see that it's making a bit of a comeback. And I believe there is a remaster on the way, although I don't know whether that's an official one. I keep hearing about it. But there's also Skyblivion on the way, which is Oblivion in the Skyrim engine. Really enjoyed playing that again. And I may do another video on the Painted World full mod pack. That's that for now. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think about Oblivion. Subscribe and hit the little bell. Hope everyone's staying safe, and I will see you in the next video.